What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 347. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And I'm trying to figure out what to do with this Canon event problem with Adam.
Like my man Steve Harvey done said, let's start the show. I don't know if he says that.
It sounds like some Steve Harvey shit, you know? So, this week, we're bypassing the movie. We're going to go straight into the movie news, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we will do...
We got our streams crossed.
Yeah, we
We're-
crossed the streams and almost ended the universe.
Yeah, I realize that sling rings are for Sorcerer Supremes only.
I mean, it happens, you know? Sometimes you
Yeah.
try to wield the great power, and the great power fucking wields you back instead.
Yeah. So, I mean, and staying in line with the Marvel theme here, you know, because for transparency, I fucked up and watched the movie that's not scheduled for a couple weeks out and all of that stuff. So, in my logic, in my smooth brain, I was like, well, this will be hilarious because you guys can discuss Dream Scenario, which was tonight's scheduled movie, and I just kind of, you know, sit back and then, you know, try to watch Dream Scenario when y'all watch Saltburn.
Yeah.
Try to restore things, but you know, life ain't a comic book.
You know.
Well, next week we'll do Dreamburn.
Dream Burn.
Yeah.
Or Salt Scenario.
We're working on
Salt
a master
Scenario.
cut of 2 different films. We're gonna call it, Dream Burn. I mean, dude, I'd watch a movie called Dream Burn,
Yeah, right.
and it's not gonna be metaphysical at all. It's gonna be like Clerks, but Dream Burn.
Clerks in your dreams. I'm down. Speaking of Clerks here, Kevin Smith reveals Jay and Silent Bob 3 plot details to mark Clerks' 30th anniversary. So this year marks the 30th anniversary of Clerks, the feature directorial debut of filmmaker Kevin Smith, which also means that this year is the 30th birthday of Jay and Silent Bob. Celebration of the anniversary, Smith has taken to social media to further tease Jay and Silent Bob 3, revealing that the sequel will see the return of both Smith and Jason Mewes as the title characters, as they find themselves in the center of, quote, an escalating war in the Central Jersey legal weed business. So this is the quote. 2024 marks 30th anniversary of my first film, Clerks, which means that it's also the 30th birthday of Jay and Silent Bob. American original, Hey Mewes and I, Jason Mewes and I, have been standing next to each other both professionally and personally for 3 decades. So we'll be celebrating all year long with signings at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, Jay and Silent Bob's Sexy Sleepover at Smodcastle in June, and useless plastic trinkets on the jayandsilentbob.com website. After heaping praise on his fellow actor, frequent collaborator, and friend Jason Mewes, as well as teasing some upcoming signings and a Jay and Silent Bob's Sexy Sleepover event, Smith revealed more details regarding the development of the Jay and Silent Bob threequel. But the biggest way Jason Mewes and I will be observing our character's 30th anniversary is by making a new Jay and Silent Bob movie. That's right, 2024 will see us back in the costumes and fake hair hat for a funny fucking flick about an escalating war in the Central Jersey legal weed business. Get ready to giggle at an Askewniverse movie in which nobody dies this time. I'm virtually finished with the first draft, so expect more news about the flick, including the title, by February. In the meantime, let me just thank you and every fiber of my being for supporting Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob across these many years. You've afforded us ample opportunities to play dress up and make pretend for a living, even after a quarter of a century. Snooch to the nooch. This is all I'm going to say. Why doesn't he do this as a series? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this sounds like a fantastic, because like he did that series with
The
dude
weed
from
shop one.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had a
right.
pilot for it.
Yeah. So why not bring, you know, some of those characters and some of those ideas with Jay and Silent Bob kind of being the central
Sorry.
focal point of it to some degree, and do like 8 episodes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and this could be their way. Like, if he did this, then he could like loop in some Mallrat stuff. He
Yeah.
could loop in some Chase and Amy stuff. Like, you would have enough time there to like bring in other characters from the Skuniverse, and see what happens. So I don't know. He wants to do movies. I get
Yeah.
it, but at the same time, man, like I felt like Jay and Silent Bob reboot and then Clerks 3 was kind of like the best way to end those series
Mm-hmm.
to,
Well, didn't
especially
it?
Clerks.
Yeah, Clerks had it had a sense of finality to the View Askew stuff.
Yeah.
Like everybody came in for the victory lap at the end there. We got the sentimental stuff, it all just kind of,
Yeah.
it all got put in a good place. And,
Where the fuck is
Well,
Moose Jaws at?
exact. And then Mallbrats and all that, like all this other stuff. And it's like if he is pivoting to playing directly into his audience, I 100% support it. But if he's gonna solely stick to Jay and Silent Bob stuff, then like just go to a studio and be like, hey, let us put it on a streaming service and see how it does. And we'll do one season, and if it goes well, then pick us up for another. And they could just kind of keep rolling with it.
The
I
only
mean,
issue I see with that is if he plans on touring with it,
yeah, that's true.
it's 8 hours versus
Yeah. Versus an hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah. And I get that. But like, dude, he could still kind of like tour around and
Sure.
show behind the scenes footage, the unaired pilot. Like he
Yeah.
could, there's a
You
lot
get to
that he
watch
could do
like the
there.
first 2 episodes before it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely do that. I don't know. If I'm like
well,
I want Jay and Bob on tap. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that's also that's the secret sauce to Jay and Silent Bob is that Smith will dull out just enough to you know,
Tide you over.
yeah, because if you think about it, I feel like Jay and Silent Bob are really hard characters to write for now because that very first movie, maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-colored glasses, but um, I mean, dude, it was a laugh a minute, dude. There were so many lines in that movie, just as I mean, almost as equally quotable as Clerks, and to keep that caliber going, it's got to be difficult. I mean, I know that like if the right inspiration hits, that the movie can write itself probably, but
Yeah.
trying to maybe come up with something to freshen the characters up while still giving us the Jay and Silent Bob that we're always, the tap we want.
Yeah. But I mean, if Jay and Bob, like, okay, is the weed store that they're talking about and all this stuff, is it going to be beside the quick stop? Because if so, then that automatically pulls those characters into it in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Wasn't
then,
it
like,
during the movie?
yeah, they
Yeah.
opened the weed shop.
It was
Yeah,
right next
during,
door.
yes, where RST was. So, um, and then think about it. Like, how interesting would it be to see the perspective of like someone working and basically running the store while you've got these two dumbasses? You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
Jay's the one that's kind of like the face, and he's clueless, and then you've got Bob that's just kind of tagging along, and it's like, what what type of working environment would that be for someone that's trying to run the store? And like introducing a new character and doing all that would be, that could be interesting. But
Oh, well, I mean, there's gonna obviously be a bit where dude's gonna come in there to buy some of their pre-rolls or something like that, and they do, like, they do a like, "Hey, what's your top seller?" Or, "Hey, something like that. And Jay goes off on a tangent, but then as he walks off or something, Silent Bob comes in with legitimate like, this one is actually a blah 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 strain, and this one right here has a mild bit of blah 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 to it to
Yeah.
really take the edge off.
Whenever you said
But
that it's going to be hard for him to do one, I thought you meant because he quit smoking weed.
Oh,
Because like he's done,
yeah.
he stopped.
And
well, I mean, well, that's
I
a good
get it.
point you brought up. I mean, but at the same
Now
time,
the first one he wrote it, he wasn't stoned.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's
I mean,
also something to point out too, because it was. I feel like getting back in a position to be able to
but he knows
write
stoner
more,
shit, you know. Like,
yeah, and write more exaggerated. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
like Jay's character is very much a character of like a very exaggerated stoner. You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, I'll watch it. You know what I mean?
sure.
Of course. But I don't know, man. The what they did with the reboot was kind of special. You know what I mean? At least it
Yeah.
felt special in the moment. So, and then Clerks 3 coming out on the heels of that and it just being a fucking tug at your heartstrings, like I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
I mean, like, so has he stepped away from his podcasts as well?
No,
Okay.
Behind paywall now, right?
a lot of it is, but
Yeah.
some you can
Well,
still like Fat Man on Batman. They were streaming. I think that last episode we did in December, they were streaming the same night. It was their final episode of the year. But he still does that stuff. He has pulled back from being online. I think it was kind of getting to him. Social
Yeah.
media, like, because he gets all caught up in shit. And
Yeah.
and well, I mean that being said, I feel like
he had to go to a
it's probably got
rehab.
him in a
And
yeah, he's probably got a little more time at the house to be able to write this shit, and you know, and I feel like too, like with the age of the internet, you know,
the fuck is
even
the
though that
internet?
kind of helped make and set up Kevin Smith's career,
Yeah.
the
I'd
fact
say
that
without the internet, they wouldn't have one.
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely, yeah, I can agree with that,
Like, he would have
absolutely.
fell off a long time ago.
But limiting his presence, kind of receding back a little bit, probably going to do good. It's probably going to do good for his creative outlet too.
Yeah. Well, and I could definitely see him pulling the fact that, like, you know, he stopped smoking and the effects that that had on him. Like, how much of that is he going to pull into Jay and Bob? Because, like, Clerks always felt like a very personal story. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Jay and Bob was kind of him just having fun and going with it. But, like, that's, you know, there's some realness that can be, put out there, but also poke fun at the same time.
Like, they run
So
a weed store, but they don't smoke.
yeah, exactly, right? So, you know, um so I wonder how much that's going to influence it as well. So I'll watch it. I mean, watched everything else. Even what was the one with the daughters in it?
Oh, oh,
I can't think.
Yoga
I've got
hosers.
it.
Yoga Hosers. That's it.
Yeah, I've got it on
Wow,
Blu-ray.
my nose is bleeding.
I know, right? I
Yoga
know.
Hosers.
Yeah,
I had to go back to the part of the
The
filing
Bratzi.
cabinet where the light blinks.
yeah.
Huh.
So I'll peep it. So Ahsoka season 2 is officially in development for Disney Plus. So Ahsoka will return to Disney Plus for a second season. Lucasfilm confirmed today. As part of her
No
as
way.
part of a far-reaching statement that announced a new Mandalorian movie, which we'll get into that here in just a second. With the first season ending with a strong hint that Ahsoka's story was a long way from being done, that announcement did not come as a shock to anyone. However, there are certainly a lot of questions still to be answered about the new season, not least whether there will be the chance for Hayden Christensen to make another appearance as Anakin Skywalker. The idea of Christensen returning to his role as Anakin Skywalker seemed to be as far away as the galaxy in which the character resides until just a couple of years ago, when it was revealed that the actor would be joining former co-star Ewan McGregor in Obi-Wan Kenobi. From the moment he appeared on screen to his final appearance as a fully formed Vader, fans of the franchise were delighted to see Christensen's comeback.
And
Now, oh,
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry. I thought you were finished with it.
No, it says now following his most recent appearance in as Anakin in last year's first season of Ahsoka, Christensen responded to the idea of returning to the role again in the future. Speaking on the Dagobah Dispatch podcast, the actor said, I would love to get to do more. I would love to get to continue with Star Wars. We'll see. I don't know what the future holds. If such an opportunity presents itself, I'll be there with a big smile on my face. If it doesn't, I feel really grateful for getting to come back and do the work I did, both in Obi-Wan and Ahsoka.
Bet.
So, yeah, but hot take here. Yeah, he's returned as the face of Anakin, but every appearance of him as Vader in these Disney Plus shows, he really hadn't done shit.
Mm-mm.
There's really nothing he can do because of the timeline that these stories are taking place.
Yeah.
And in Ahsoka, when he shows up, he's just more or less pantomiming the performance of the Clone Wars version of the character.
Right. Yeah.
And like I wouldn't mind some more legitimate, like, you know, develop Vader more on screen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I know that's like, well, you know, there is 6 movies that do that, but it's like, well, if you're gonna bring him back, fucking give him something
yeah.
to do.
Well, it's almost one of those things where it's like, if we're gonna bring Christensen back, if we're gonna do Vader, then let's do a Vader series and let's have like it's post um it's post 3 and you actually see the things that Vader did between 3 and 4.
I've been
And
saying that for years, man.
yeah,
And what sucks ass is that, like, that is such the perfect place to develop a Vader film, a show, whatever.
yeah. Well, I
And
think
it may, but like we've all kind of said about other franchises and stuff, that makes too much sense. So of course they're not going to do it.
well, I'm sure they're keeping that in their pocket, but at the same time, it's like you've got Christensen. He's not far off from looking like he did back in the day. I mean, you can definitely tell that he's aged, but he still holds the same presence, right?
Yeah,
So
he could still give you that soap opera glare that he had, you know.
yeah. So if they're good, like they should, now would be the perfect time to do that. And it would be interesting to have like you cast someone as Vader, but you have Christensen show up as like almost like his internal, like a visual representation of his internal struggle that he's going through.
Man, if they could do that like they did in the Marvel comic series,
Hmm.
like that could be, I mean, I know that people are getting sick of shit CGI and all that kind of stuff, but just like there's like this weird thing they keep cutting to in the books where depending on where his balance in the force is lying, whether he's going full dark side, full light side, or a mix of the two, like it shows just like this figure, this humanoid figure kind of sitting in like a meditative state, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
And he's in like this terrain that's just all fucking just crazy, like it's like thunderstorms on Mars. I don't know how to explain it, but like it's just really, it's very, if done right, it could translate into a very eerie, you know, like little cutaway, like at moments when he's fucking like losing his shit and you can't see it because he's behind that fucking mask, you know?
Right, yeah. And that's what I was saying, like, you can still pull Christensen in and use, like, him as that struggle, and you can use him as, like, the I don't know, the personification of the struggle, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
And that would be an interesting way to keep him in it, kinda depart him from what he's done before, and also from the Clone Wars stuff, and create something new and interesting with it. Um Yet be faithful to the, overarching series of Star Wars. So
Yeah. Well, because, you know, and another thing too is that like it adds another layer of, I wouldn't say, I don't want to, maybe it's complexity, maybe that's the word I'm meaning, I don't know. But like, we've already finally got enough screen time of Vader showing us just how ruthless he is as far as like a combatant.
Yeah.
Like, last motherfucker you want to be in a room alone with, especially if you're the one he's after.
Yeah.
But the psychological stuff, I think delving into that a little bit more as well, carving it out more, and how that interacts with the greater Star Wars universe. Because there's a lot of shit that goes on between 3 and 4 that concerns Vader, where he's learning more of the Sith stuff and getting more, more ingrained into being full evil.
Yeah.
And a lot of that shit gets in his head.
Right.
And being able to see that play out would be good. And plus, I mean, just good old fashioned Order 66 shit still playing out. Like, you know, like a sequence where it's like, yeah, we found a Jedi in this system or whatever. And he's like, well, I sensed him fucking, 2 jumps back, like,
Yeah.
don't talk to me about finding these motherfuckers. I know what we're doing. Like, let's get there and get it done.
Right. So on the heels of this, as mentioned before, the Star Wars announced that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is to be directed by Favreau. So Filoni's Mandalorian movie is suddenly not the only big screen outing based on the Star Wars property that fans will see in the coming years. It has been announced that Din Djarin and Grogu will be getting their own movie from writer-director Jon Favreau, which will go into production this year. Following several years without a Star Wars movie, fans will now have 4 movies to look forward to, as Favreau's The Mandalorian and Grogu has officially been added to a slate that includes Filoni's movie, which will act as the culmination of the Mandalorian era, and movies by Charmin Obaid Chinoy and James Mangold that were previously announced. Additionally, Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is also somewhere in the mix, although its status is currently hard to pin down, with only the writer-director himself having commented on it recently. In a statement about his new venture into the Star Wars universe, Favreau said of the Mandalorian and Grogu, "I've loved telling stories set in the rich world that Lucas created. The prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting." Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy added her thoughts on the latest addition to the ever expanding world of Star Wars. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters, and this new story is a perfect fit for the big screen.
Who asked her?
Exactly, and it's
I just
so we're getting
imagine,
to
that whole quote you said was in the voice of Cartman.
yeah, right. So we're going to be getting 2 Mandalorian. Well, one Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and then one like culmination film of all the
Like
series
Ahsoka.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I hope
so,
they have a better name rather than just The Mandalorian and Grogu.
yeah. Well,
I mean, I wouldn't get hung up on that.
What's in a
I want.
name?
Well, here's my question. The Filoni movie is going to come out first, obviously, to kind of wrap up all the TV stuff that's going on.
Oh no, it's gonna be this first, man.
Is
What?
it?
Ahsoka?
Yeah. No, the Mandalorian movie is gonna drop before
What you just said?
for Ahsoka.
No. So there's 2 Mandalorian movies that they're making.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, so Filoni's going to be doing the follow up to all the TV show stuff, like the ending of that, and then
Yeah.
Favreau's doing his Grogu, Mandalorian and Grogu movie, right?
No, this movie is just gonna. I th- the way the time or timeline obviously hasn't been established as to when this movie is going to take place, but the way the releases are being done, is we're going to get Mandalorian and Grogu, Ahsoka season 2, and then Filoni film.
where everything comes
Yes,
together.
Well,
I
so
think I think this movie, because people are like, why the fuck would they release a Mando Grogu movie out of just like, there's still like shit in the show that's got to get set up to tie into the films, I'm wondering if the movie's just going to be a condensed season 4. It's going to give us Mando and Grogu's perspective of what's playing out, and it's going to show us how Mando meets Ezra, and the like. Essentially, they're going to treat Thrawn as such a badass that they're going to have to introduce him twice.
yeah, well, yeah. But here's my thing though. What if they shake that release schedule up?
I mean, absolutely, absolutely, because obviously nothing is like 100% set in stone. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the current roadmap. I think they've at least chose.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Why would Favreau sign on to write and direct a movie that is going to be like part of the ongoing narrative? Like to me, I know that Favreau helped get it off the ground. He worked with Filoni on everything, but I imagine that Favreau's Mandalorian movie is going to be um, set in the future when Grogu's older.
Oh,
Which would be, I mean, it would make sense, or at least we get a progression to where we get Grogu from the show at the beginning of the movie, and then by the end, like we do some time jumping throughout the film.
Yeah. Because I mean, we've had several characters cross over in the series. So my biggest thing is like why would they not introduce Grogu and the Mandalorian inside of Ahsoka when we had Ahsoka's introduction during the Mandalorian? Like, and it could be a simple exchange of like information that could take like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever they wanted to put on it. It's like, hey, we need your help. This shit's fucked. This dude's back. I'm sure you've heard of him. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, and I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like it could totally be. I mean, it makes sense to be safer and let it be its own adventure with the two characters.
Yeah.
But classic Marvel formula, have that very last ending be like you said, somebody shows up and goes, "Hey, man, a fleet's shown up in the galaxy, and shit's not looking good."
Yeah. And who knows? They could pivot and do another book of Boba Fett and have like, you know,
Or retcon him and like make him badass again.
yeah, yeah, right.
Make him Boba Fett again. Make him a little more fatty.
Yeah,
Less fatty, more fatty.
yeah. So they could, I don't know. But
I
to
don't
me,
know.
I'm like,
I don't know where that came from.
if Favreau's coming on board, Filoni obviously already has a roadmap for Ahsoka, the Mandalorian movie, or like his wrap up of the Clone Wars and all of that stuff. Like he has that roadmap, and then Favreau's writing it. So like, why would me as a writer director of such renown as Favreau come in and be like, "Hey Filoni, I see that you've written all this stuff. I'm just gonna put some like notes on it, and then we're gonna go film that shit." Like, I don't know, it's kind
Well,
of a weird
I
thing.
see what you're saying, but I also think too that they even though Favreau can absolutely ride on his own, I think maybe him and Filoni have figured out like a good system of how to operate it. Because when you think about it too, with Mandalorian, even if we want to remove Filoni from the equation, we all know that the only way that the proper ending, because one of the things too with the overarching timeline is that Mando and Grogu don't fit in the later era.
Mhm,
so
So
Earl's got to die.
something becomes of them.
mhm.
And I think the way that they get handed off into, you know, not the next person to handle the characters, but to finally put them in their own ending and have a conclusion to what becomes of them. Favreau's got to have complete control of that. Like, and I don't think. I mean, obviously, I don't think he would be cool with Disney getting somebody else to do it. Much less, I don't think just fans in general would, would be cool with that.
Well, he started it. He'll want to finish it.
Yeah.
And who's to say? What if at the end of it they get stuck in that other world?
That's right.
In that other, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if?
Maybe that's why they're missing from all the other.
Yeah,
But they could always show back up, man.
Yeah. So
it would be a tragic end, but I mean, writing them out of continuity, I mean, it kind of seems the most like the easiest way to transition them out, even though it might be an ending people. A divisive ending is a good ending.
Yeah.
If some people liked it and some people hated it, it did its job,
Right. And like, since Grogu, if he continues on with like the Force and all that stuff, like he's gonna have a very different perspective on like Force and light side, dark side, and all this kind of stuff. Like they were still able to use the Force while they were in the other universe. So it's something that like transcends location, right? It's not like galaxy specific kind of thing. So who's to say like he sets up some crazy temple or something, could be wild.
Well, what's crazy is that the armor, I think in one of the earlier seasons, whenever they made Mando and Grogu Facebook official,
Mm-hmm.
they got called the Clan of Two.
Yeah.
That eerily echoes like the rule of two from the Sith, but in like a light side way, where there's always two people, no more than no less.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's exactly any indication in the narrative of what they're doing, but who's to say they're over there and they're like, or wherever they end up being, they become this hybrid of both cultures.
Yeah.
And form their own like type of society. That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, that's wild that they're doubling down on Mando. Which, hey, best Star Wars news we've heard in a long time. Let's be fair.
Hand Pascal a script and a microphone and fucking let the fucking
Give
money
him some
run.
pastels.
Yeah, let the money machine start printing.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be huge.
Hey, if we're getting him on the big screen, you know what we got to get though. He's got to say the line.
This is the way.
Well, of course that, but no, the line, man. He can bring you in hot or he can bring you in cold.
I mean, he might give that life up though. I don't know. That'd be wild.
I mean, him and Grogu were straight up like one clear Creedence Clearwater Revival record away from being down on the corner in that fucking last shot,
out there in the street. Yep.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of
Looney Tunes outro where it circles in on the face.
Yeah. We got a little bit of Marvel news here. So MCU fans want Alan Ritchson to play Sentry in Thunderbolts following Steven Yeun's departure. So following the news that actor Steven Yeun has walked away from the upcoming MCU movie Thunderbolts, Marvel fans think they know who they want to take his place. Yeun was hotly rumored to be playing the Marvel version of Superman, Sentry, and Thunderbolts, and fans have quickly taken to X to declare that Reacher star Alan Ritchson should be called upon to take over the role. So there's a lot of Twitter posts here talking about this dude. Thanks to his stellar work and behemoth build as Jack Reacher in Amazon's Reacher series, Ritchson is often cited as the perfect actor for various comic book movie roles. And it seems there are many Marvel fans who would love to see him join the Thunderbolts following Yeun's departure. We got more Twitter posts here with this dude. Yen has now confirmed that he was forced to walk away from Thunderbolts due to scheduling conflicts, with the actor still very much open to joining the MCU sometime down the line. I think for me, time passing and things shifting kind of pulled me out of it. But Jake, I know, is going to do an incredible job. I want to do a Marvel movie. It took a lot of drafts on email to make sure that I conveyed the sincerity of how sorry I was to have to back out. So, what do you think of the idea of Alan Richardson taking over a Century? Perhaps there's a comic book movie role that you think he's better suited for, such as he said that he wanted to play Batman in James Gunn's version of the DCU. So, but I mean, he can do both. What's
Yeah.
stopping him?
Y'all seen Reacher?
I watched a
No.
little bit of
Yeah, I've
Reacher.
watched it. He's pretty good on there. He's got the aim of a stormtrooper, but
Is it that bad?
well, when they shoot at people, they just shoot. I mean,
Mhm.
he's supposed to be some badass like special forces guy,
Yeah,
but man, he goes through them clips like.
yeah.
Well, here's my thing. Do you think they will be able to properly do Sentry right as a supporting character in the Thunderbolts?
Well, he's the villain. He's going to be the villain. So,
But he's going to be the misunderstood villain.
yeah. It's
That's
going to
gonna
be
become
hard.
he's
Harry
going to
hangs the
be
crown.
he's going to be the one they fight throughout most of the movie, only for him to be a good guy at the end to stop the greater threat that arises in the third act.
Yeah. So they're basically condensing every Marvel start off movie into a team up movie. You know what I mean? I think that
I mean, I
Steven,
want this movie to be good. I do, but it just seems like this movie can't get off the ground to save its ass.
well, I mean, I think that everything is good to go on it except for the role of Sentry. And of course, you know, they were supposed to be filming it already, but the strike kind of screwed everything up. So I mean, it's not Steven Yen's fault that he had to drop out, but I also do think that, like, could there have been pressure from fans? Sure, because and I don't think that Steven Yen would do a bad job as Sentry. Let me preface this
Yeah.
here. But I
But when
think
you
that
see the image of Sentry there,
yes. How
looks
is
more
this
like the other
squirrely?
guy.
Yeah,
No.
how is this squirrely dude from The Walking Dead gonna pull off the Superman look? You know what I
I mean,
mean?
to be honest, I could have seen Yen be cast more as like Amadeus Cho
Yeah.
in like another Hulk story, or he show up in this movie as Amadeus Cho.
Right. But at this point, like, who do you cast as Sentry? And do you try to bring Cavill in as Sentry? I know that's low hanging fruit, but
I think the better the villain, the less renowned.
well, and I think that if they're really going to play into what the Sentry is, you have to have someone that is going to be the personification of Superman, but also the maniacal side of the Joker, all rolled into one character. Like, you're going to have the
Well,
person that can pull
he's
both
more.
of those.
They're gonna cast him as two different characters. Like he'll be Sentry, and then he'll be the Void.
So you think that they'll cast two people as
Well, I think if they can cast a good enough actor that can do some Tom Hardy level of like schizophrenic acting,
yeah.
they'd only need to cast one guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Like,
if they wanted to dull out the funds and do that, or you know, turn the live action iteration of Void into some weird, you know, CGI thing or whatever.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because like I really, it's not the same, but I feel like it's the same. But the way that they handled the Shadow King in Legion is kind of how I would like to see Sentry content with the Void.
Mhm.
Like it's a battle in the mind. Yeah, the Void comes out and does something fucked up whenever Sentry does his shit, but the real internal struggle is like them in like a weird landscape, not a weird landscape, but like
Yeah. No, I think that they've got to double down. They've got to double down on one person playing both roles. They have to, because if you're going to cast someone as the Void to be the Sentry counterpart, then just like split the two characters away from, have them tied together, but then they would be splitting. It's not. It makes the Sentry a less interesting character if they do that.
Yeah.
One,
Also, I ain't ever met an Asian dude named Robert Reynolds, so I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I'm saying
you
they're not
know,
out there.
yeah. But would Alan Richardson be able to pull off the Sentry and also the Void? And I haven't watched any of it. I'm not sure, but like
He's a good
it's
actor. He's
yeah,
big.
so right.
Like when,
And
when I
that's
was watching Reacher, I was like, this dude would be perfect to do like old school, like TV Hulk.
oh yeah,
He'd be perfect.
yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like Steven Yen is almost kind of a great pickup for this character, actually thinking about it, because you want the Sentry to be this muscular, hulking figure, Superman style. But the Void is more of like this kind of like slinky, shadow figure that's like, you know,
What if
it's
that's what Yin plays and they're
it,
lying?
I mean, because
You know
they
what I
could
mean?
do that. Yeah. Like this could be all a setup, and they could be pulling the characters apart. And if they do, I mean, it's going to take some incredible writing. That's all I'm going to say. And having him be the villain. And I think that the Sentry is going to be the Earth counterpart to Captain Marvel to an extent. I think the Sentry is going to be there, but be reluctant to help out. It's going to be a more interesting character than Captain Marvel right out of the gate, because like whenever he uses powers and does stuff, then the Void like becomes more and more, more and more of a threat. So he's going to be, more reserved and more held back and just show up when he needs to. But whenever he shows up, it may cause issues because then the Void may show up. So like, you know,
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, the way the Void and Sentry interact is that for every quote unquote good deed Sentry does, the Void follows in. Like it's a whole balance metaphor, but I missed a bunch of other weird shit. Sentry at the end of the day, Sentry's just a weird fucking character though.
yeah. But is if the right writers tackle the Sentry is incredibly interesting and makes
Yeah.
for some great stories.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but yeah, Steven Yen's out. Fans want Alan Richardson to play it. I think that talking about the Thunderbolts for a second, I think the Thunderbolts movie, if what was promised to us is legitimate, is going to be great, because they promised the Thunderbolts was like going to be cheesy action almost. Like it's going to kind of like throw back to like 80s and 90s action flicks in a way. With superheroes. And if that's the case, I am beyond down. And I think they've already got a good cast there.
I can't remember, but isn't there a run or isn't there a moment where because Thunderbolt Ross becomes Red Hulk?
Hmm.
Is there a moment where Red Hulk and Sentry square off? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I quit reading before Red Hulk showed up.
Because that would be really interesting if because there was rumors for a while that Thunderbolts was gonna have low key like Hulk stuff going on,
Yeah. Well, Harrison
'cause I
Ford got cast as Thunderbolt Ross
and I mean,
and Red Hulk.
I do what?
He got cast as Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk.
See, and that's crazy because I mean, at the end of the day, they're still trying to get because wasn't it? Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I yeah because that makes sense as to why in Falcon and Winter Soldier because there's that whole thing where, well, no, not in well, with U.S. Agent and fuck, uh, chick from Seinfeld.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, they introduce them in that show, and then she shows up in certain stuff here, and I think she showed up at the end of Eternals and another movie as well. But where I'm getting at though is that, like, what was the show? Was it Secret Invasion where you find out there was a team of people out there on the battlefield collecting blood samples and DNA? That was
yeah,
Secret Invasion, wasn't it?
yeah,
Of the end game battle and whatnot.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
makes sense that the Thunderbolts would have Hulk's blood
yeah, for
because I
sure.
mean that's been the coveted jewel of Thunderbolt Ross. The whole, I mean, clearly, but like he gets it, turns into Red Hulk, kind of becomes a bit of a problem.
Yeah,
They straight up took She-Hulk's blood.
yeah.
So
So, and then Scar shows up. So, like, what? But, but yeah,
I,
I'm legitimately looking forward to the Thunderbolts.
yeah, I'm reserved on it, but I definitely I'm more excited for it than a lot of the other movies.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So, on the heels of this, Eternal Scrap TV series details revealed by John Ridley. My version was the good version. That was the quote. So, Marvel's Eternals hit cinemas in 2021 as the industry was just opening back up following the pandemic. This meant that the resulting box office was not exactly what Marvel Studios had hoped for, something that would become an unwanted studio mantra over the next 2 years. And although audiences were mostly positive about the movie, critics were much less impressed. However, things could have been different if John Ridley's TV series based on the superhero group had made it to the screen in 2015. Ridley began developing an Eternals TV series when Marvel Television was in the midst of creating shows like Netflix Defender shows, Agent Carter, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it was scrapped along with all the other non MCU shows when Marvel Studios took charge of the division. In an appearance on Comic Book Club podcast, Ridley finally shared some information on what his version would have looked like. This is what he had to say. My version was the good version. It was so fucking weird. There was my version, a good version, which is good to me, which doesn't mean anything. There was the version that Marvel ended up doing. I don't think that version was particularly good. I'll be honest, my version started with the first thing you see is a young man, probably about 18 years old. He's sitting there for a moment and then he lifts his hands. He has a drill in it and he turns the drill on and puts the drill to his ear and he starts pushing it in and then it goes from there. That's how it starts. And then I think you see another kid. He sleeps in the bathtub, covers himself with full. It's just really weird. It's just a really weird story about these people who are, I mean, it's just weird. Eternals had the makings of a huge summer blockbuster with an all star cast and a place in the Marvel Studios franchise that, at the time, could almost do no wrong. However, things didn't quite go as planned. The movie was delayed due to the pandemic, and when it finally aired, or when it finally arrived, it seemed to be slightly too ambitious for its own good. Introducing an Avengers sized roster of new characters, complete with backstories and philosophical edge, the movie suffered for caring more for its concepts than its characters. Although audiences really didn't mind any of this, it still found the movie to contain the usual Marvel mix of action set pieces and humor. The film was certainly hindered by its huge cast of characters and even had some critics suggesting their introduction could have been better as a long form Disney Plus series. Of course, the movie serves more than just the purpose of telling its story, setting up the arrival of Blade in the MCU, teasing the introduction of Eros, aka Star Fox, and putting the huge corpse of the celestial Tiamat in the middle of the Indian Ocean. All of these teases are yet to be paid off, and fans have been constantly complaining about the lack of advancement on social media, particularly in relation to the latter one. However, time moves much slower in the real world than it does in the MCU, with most of Phase 4 and the first part of Phase 5 all taking place within months rather than the years it takes to play out on screen. Kevin Feige has previously spoken about the future of Eternals, suggesting that the characters will return when the story allows. As for those teases, Harry Styles' return as Eros is likely guaranteed but has not been confirmed as of yet. Blade will make his full debut in 2025, and when it comes to the giant head sticking out of the ocean, it has been strongly suggested that it will have a role to play in next year's Captain America Brave New World and could be tied to the introduction of adamantium, aka the element that was infused the body of Wolverine to the MCU. I agree. I think it would have worked better as a Disney Plus show. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in reality, comic book
We would
stuff
have got
in
more
general.
of it.
Yeah, comic book stuff in general could all be like, think about any character, you could make a TV show out of them. I mean, because that's essentially what the comics are.
Yeah.
But I think I still stand by the fact that I think Eternals is the most underrated movie in the MCU.
It's good. Like it's good, but um I wanted like there should have been more. But that's the problem with doing it as a movie though. Like you introduce these characters, you have to set up their incredibly storied backstory. You know, they've been on Earth for fucking hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Like you have to build all of this stuff, show where they're from, show who they are, what they can do, and then
Yeah,
you have to introduce the problems, you know?
yeah, and while Eternals certainly had its issues on that and was kind of clunky, it did a good job of being a good classic origin setup movie.
Mhm.
We just need the sequel.
I mean, here we are 3 years later.
Yeah. And Feige's like, "We'll do it when we get
And
get time."
everybody's like, and there people still make the joke like, we're not going to address the thing that's sticking out of the ocean. Like,
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I mean, Eternals was something I've noticed as well with all like online stuff as time goes on. The more that people are watching it now, the more people are going, yeah, it's actually not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it dropped, people just tore it apart.
Yeah.
And I get some of the complaints, but I think a lot of it had to do with, as you stated in the article, it had shit timing because of the pandemic. That's just a daft hand that you can't,
Yeah.
like that's out of everybody's control for any movie that came out at that point, of course. But you've also got to look at its placement too in the timeline they've released. Like we just got off the wagon of Endgame,
Yeah, here's
and
the post Endgame fallout, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're immediately thrust into another team of people and all the like it's like the audience didn't have enough time to breathe and think on Endgame and what those ramifications are going to be, and instead it just jumps right to, all right, guys, the world's about to fucking split open like an egg. Why? Because fucking Thanos actually kind of did the universe a favor.
Yeah. Well, and then that calls into question a lot of the, because this came out in 2021. This was post Endgame. If the Eternals have been here all this time, why weren't they involved? Like,
mhm.
it's almost, you know what I mean? It's almost one of those things where they should have taken the opportunity to show the Battle of New York. They should have showed the Ultron stuff. They should have showed the perspective of the Eternals meeting to be like, yo, we've got to give these dudes a chance. Like, we can't hold their hand. It's time for them to nut up or shut up, like,
Yeah,
and I think if they would have done that, it's almost like you remember when Batman v Superman came out and people shit all over it, and then the director's cut comes out and it answers all those questions.
yeah,
That would have that those sequences alone, if they would have done that instead of spending so much time in the past and like them being on Earth for so long, and
yeah.
have them coming together when these significant things start happening on in the modern timeline,
Well,
then I think
it could have been a really cool homage. Not that homages fucking matter or make or break a movie, but considering how they made everything look, the way they made the Eternals aesthetic look and everything,
yeah,
it would have been really cool to have had those sequences, like you said, where they come together and they're like, okay, an invasion has hit this planet finally. That's
yeah,
not us. How do we
yeah,
respond to this? And almost in like a for some reason, whenever you brought that up, the first thing that came to mind were the sequences in the original Harryhausen Clash of the Titans when the gods would be disputing it on Olympus.
Yes. Yes.
What do
Yeah,
we do with
exactly.
Perseus? He's fucking
Yeah.
he's fucking cleaning. He's doing God's work down there. What do we fucking do? And someone's like, well, fucking send him to Medusa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been really cool. I would have probably enjoyed whatever John Ridley was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the idea of taking each Eternal and dragging their story out and all this character development, I think it was the smart move to just go, you know what? They're fucking androids. That's all we really need to know. They're
Yeah.
androids designed by the Celestials to fucking make sure a planet's ready to fucking harvest.
Yeah.
And while that might cheapen and, take away the opportunity to tell, more stories, I feel like it doesn't take away from it too much because there's still a lot that can be done with these characters and how they play a role in all the, the big overarching storyline and stuff. And that's not to say that there can't be a good sequel that's just about them getting their shit together and dealing with the aftermath of losing Icarus now,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't hate the Eternals. It's not something that I'm just like, brother, we got to watch this soon. But
Oh
like,
yeah, you got to be in a mood for the Eternals.
yeah,
But
But
I don't
it'll
know,
fall
man.
in place like years down the road when there is a follow up movie.
yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of like how you can go back and watch Marvel now
Yeah.
and watch all the stuff, and you don't have to wait years to be like, "What the fuck they do?" Oh, that's why they did it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to see, and with Filoni being like, or not Filoni, but oh, what's his fuck? He's
Favreau?
like, well, yeah, not Favreau. Feige. There's too
Oh.
many F's. You know what I'm
Filoni,
saying?
Feige,
Favreau.
Favreau.
Yeah,
The coveted 3 Fs of the cinematic blockbuster world.
yeah. Him being like, well, we'll work on men whenever we get ready to work on men, and it's just like, dude, like, is the government not trying to figure out who the hell these people are? And like, there's a
Yeah.
giant creature that's made of stone sticking out of the ocean.
Where
Like,
the fuck these people been?
And
Yeah,
and yeah, that while I want answers to that as well, I can't help but respect though that he's like, nah,
We'll get
we're
around
cooking
to it.
on it. We'll
Yeah.
put it out when it's ready.
yeah. I mean, I
And
respect it, but like, I think he's afraid to drop it, right? Because he's like, well, it wasn't a great response. We kind of made that mistake with Captain Marvel. We're not going to make that mistake
Mhm.
again,
it would be interesting if
they
they're
got a
keeping
sequel
Eternals in their
quicker.
back pocket to maybe help introduce the X-Men proper with the Eternals.
Yeah. So,
Emmer
but
be
if
back.
Galacticus shows up, then they're gonna have to like show up.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just one of those. They want to bring Galactic. They've already cast Javier Bardem. So like,
Well,
if he
wouldn't it
shows
be?
up,
No, I mean, we're obviously in speculation zone now, but wouldn't it be fucking badass? If Silver Surfer rolls up to Earth, and the Eternals are the ones that meet him at the door. Like, we know who you are. Like,
yeah, we know
like,
why you're here.
yeah, like Thanos. Yeah, it's a big deal, but they were like, we kind of figure what's going on here.
Yeah,
But Silver Surfer rolls up, does the whole fucking gotta feed this big boy. And they're like, over our robotic bodies. And he's like, okay, that too. And fucking just fucks them up. That way, even though we have the Eternals, we also have a bunch of red shirts. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like, technically, and it probably might piss off some sort of niche of fans out there that are like, Eternals are my team.
Fuck them
yeah,
kids.
But I could see Galactus showing up, showing out, wrecking the Eternals to give us that whole "I'm not fucking around" moment,
hmm
and maybe the surviving the people who took off with with dude at the end of the first movie when he came back and was like, "I'll come back when I arrange judgment. Let me fucking shift
Yeah.
some paperwork over here. Come with me." So when they fucking black hole sun the fuck out, when they come back, they're the only surviving Eternals because everyone else is fucking dead.
Right.
And that's how they talk to the Avengers or the Fantastic Four to be like, "Yo, Silver Boy, he's bad news."
Yeah.
And then, we get a classic retelling where he's like, "Life is worth saving. I will stand
Mhm.
and fight with you guys."
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what and I hope that they address that more. It sounds like that they're going to in that next Captain America movie. So, and that would be kind of cool. Like if that's how they get the adamantium and all that good stuff, and kind of get the ball spinning on that, then I'm for it. Why not?
Galactus, they need to have Galactus warp in, and it's played by Mike Myers as Fat Bastard.
Oh God.
So you just hear a big echoey, "Get in my belly," and he starts sucking the earth into his fucking mouth.
Yeah. So last up here, Jay Majors, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't even know
Br-
you can call him J Major.
Jay Majors here books first interview since being fired by Disney and Marvel following guilty verdict. So, disgraced Marvel star Jay Majors has now had his first interview since being found guilty of 2 misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment. The actor, who is best known for his roles as Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and his role in the boxing drama Creed 3, sat down with Lindsay Davis of ABC News Live to discuss last month's verdict and the fallout from it, which has seen him being dropped from future Marvel projects. The interview is scheduled to air on Monday, January the 8th, debuting on Good Morning America as well as airing on Good Morning America 3, What You Need to Know. There will also be an extended version of the interview released later that day to streaming on ABC News Live's Prime, with ABC News Studios Impact X Nightline also set to stream a half-hour special with further footage from the interview at a later date. Just put it all together. Following being found, Jesus Christ, following being found guilty of assault and harassment, Marvel actor Jonathan Majors responded to the trial outcome via his legal team, who have stated that they are grateful for the jury and their finding that Majors, quote, did not intentionally cause any injuries to his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, and that the actor, quotes, looks forward to fully clearing his name. You can read the statement below. So this is the statement. It is clear that the jury did not believe Grace Jabari's story of what happened in the SUV because they found that Mr. Majors did not intentionally cause any injuries to her. We are grateful for that. We are disappointed, however, that despite not believing Miss Jabari, the jury nevertheless found that Mr. Majors was somehow reckless while she was attacking him. Mr. Majors is grateful to God, his family, his friends, and his fans for their love and support during these harrowing 8 months. Mr. Majors still has faith in the process and looks forward to fully clearing his name. According to Variety, a Manhattan jury found Jonathan Majors guilty on Monday of 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment and assault, but acquitted him on 2 other counts. He was found not guilty on 1 account of intentional assault in the 3rd degree and aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. Majors, wearing a dark gray suit and seated with his attorneys and girlfriend, Megan Good, did not display a reaction when the verdict was read. The sentencing trial for Majors has been set for February the 6th, and the acclaimed actor faces up to 1 year in jail. This news comes after the fact that his domestic abuse charges presumably led Disney to remove Magazine Dreams from its release calendar and has now led Marvel and Disney to fire Majors from their upcoming slate of titles in the MCU. On October 25th, a New York judge denied a motion to dismiss the case against Majors, who was arrested on March 25th following an alleged dispute with then-girlfriend Grace Jabari. Majors was subsequently charged with assault and aggravated harassment. The Marvel actor pled not guilty to all charges, and his attorneys have maintained that Jabari was the aggressor. On the same day that Majors' motion was denied, Jabari was arrested on misdemeanor charges of suspicion of assault and criminal mischief concerning the same incident. However, charges against her were dropped after the Manhattan District Attorney's Office carefully reviewed all the facts of the case and concluded that Miss Jabari was the victim and not the perpetrator. Magazine Dreams was scheduled for release on December the 8th. The Searchlight acquired drama, which debuted at Sundance this January, stars Majors as an amateur bodybuilder who dreams of stardom in professional weightlifting competitions. The Elijah Bynum directed film garnered critical acclaim following its premiere. Disney and Marvel announced the firing on Monday shortly after the guilty verdict, according to Deadline. This will surely affect many future MCU titles, as Majors Kang the Conqueror character was deeply involved in the narrative of upcoming films. There is word yet on whether these films and shows will need to be reshot with a different actor playing Kang, or how the studio will approach the character. The House of Mouse has also elected to postpone the live-action Snow White remake starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot until March the 21st, 2025, and Pixar's Elio, which will now debut on June the 13th 2025 instead of March the 1st, 2024. In a recent interview, Loki director, we've already gone through all that. So the interview's up. I was hoping that they would like have some Q&A stuff in here from the interview, but I mean, he's looking forward to clearing his name, right? So he's definitely going to try to use the processes that exist to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least you would think. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm going to watch the interviews. I'm interested to see like what his demeanor is, and all that good stuff, because that'll tell a lot,
Mm-hmm. I watched the
So,
clip.
Ain't
The one I
nothing
put in
but
the
a Kang
text the other
thing,
day. That one's
baby.
out.
Yeah.
Like there's already some of the interview you can see,
Right.
Yeah,
And I mean, he's just sitting there like, man, what the fuck, man? They said I didn't do it, but then they said I did something else. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. And it's like if he wasn't found guilty, like, dude, all I'm gonna say is like, if someone is attacking me, this is the world we live in now, though.
Well,
If
you have the
someone's
right to defend yourself, right?
not in New York.
Not in New York. You're right about that. Not in New York.
I mean, remember the guy that was getting robbed?
Bodega.
Yeah,
They
so
locked that dude up.
Jonathan Majors needs to move here. He would be treated
Yeah.
like royalty. You know what I'm saying?
He would be.
So, but anyway, it's fine. Like, you can't defend yourself like crazy.
No, you just have to let it happen.
And the bodega guy was the guy that got stabbed, right?
Yeah, he got stabbed. He took their knife away, stabbed and killed the other dude.
Yeah.
And they put his ass in like Rikers Island or something. I mean, he was in prison.
Which
Had
is
and never took him to the hospital for being stabbed. Oh, he's got one hell of a lawsuit right now. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
all over like a bag of chips or something.
It's a wild world, It is a wild world.
That DA up there, Alvin Bragg, dude, that is bad news.
Yeah. Well, But I'm ready for the trays.
I threw in a few extra. Normally I try to do 10. We got 15.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm down for it, dude. Throw them at me, brother. Throw them at me, brother.
right,
what's
you
this
good,
first
Tim?
trailer?
Tim
the Tap Man.
I mean, it might be W.
Yeah.
I'm good for trailers, guys. I'm doing dog duty over here right now.
Let's hit it. Is that the Monolith? Never mind.
We have a trailer called Monolith.
Manservant.
She kind of looks like Halle Berry.
Yeah. She's the chick from.
She is from something. What is it?
She played Valkyrie, right?
I think
and
that's
she was
her.
in Westworld. Maybe.
I don't know if it's a chick from Westworld. It might be. Hang on. Barbarian.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Baby.
Huh. He's obsessed. Oh, her bot's getting jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Tim might have some points, though. I mean, time. Here's my issue.
Mm-hmm.
So my man's AI, he's a bot, and they chose to make him look like that, you know?
I know, right?
I mean, GPT-5 looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
It don't look bad, but like we're getting a whole slew of these AI murderating
Yeah.
everybody, you know. So
There's no
I don't have any.
ads for anyone. All right.
Yeah, I got no ads.
Trav, if we ever skip to one and you get an ad, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead.
10-4.
3 body problem.
You know, we watched a teaser for this. There's a
Yeah.
Asian series
Yeah.
based on. I think it's based on a book. I think. Is on the wing.
Onion knot.
Oh. Damn, that's a big satellite.
Yeah.
Probably could have left that part out.
Yeah.
The metaverse. Looks promising.
Yeah. It looks really, really good.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
I'll give that a peep.
No trailer for me. Or no ad.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that 3 body problem.
Quality looks good too.
That Uma Thurman?
Murder mystery on a cruise ship. Are you? She does kind of look like Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
What year is it?
I know,
'Cause
right?
that's an old cruise ship, and just the colors are like saying 70s or maybe before. Oh, it's a series. Okay. Details matter. No, that was a new $100 bill. Ship just looks like that. Okay.
I mean, it's no
It ain't no glass onion.
Benoit. Yeah.
Uh,
Y'all on I gotta add
Me too.
True Detective. I'll allow it. You know,
Mine's the Zoo of Atlanta.
I'm just glad we're past the Avatar video game era
Oh.
of ads. Oh my god, I saw that trailer so many times it made me not
Back
want
to
to play
back.
that game. Yeah, I'm good. Sexy Beast.
Paramount. Hmm.
Wasn't this originally a Ben Kingsley film?
Oh,
I mainly put it in here just because I had this remix of Relax, which is kind of cool. We'll buy one L.
he's a liability.
There is a Ben Kingsley movie. Ian McShane. Sexy Beast. That guy's a character. Oh. Fun fact, this is a prequel to the 2000 Sexy Beast film. Only thing missing is Jason Statham.
I know, right?
Can't go
Who-
out. We got work to do. Preparation. H.
His name was Dougie.
Yeah. I like the remix. Pretty sure this is going to be a series.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be hard to cram all that in a movie. I mean, you could do that, but
I just remember back in the day when you had this how old we are, listeners, back in the TV guide channel
Mhm.
days. They'd have a trailer reel playing up in the corner sometimes.
yep.
And I remember that Sexy Beast trailer for Ben Kingsley playing so much. It is seared into my fucking brain. That is the only reason I knew about that.
So you've never seen the movie?
No, but I've heard it's won awards and shit.
It's like a thriller. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
like
peep it and see.
Like Kingsley got like rave reviews for
only
his
Kingsley.
performance in it.
I spend it. It's crime thriller. Like I said, Ian McShane. Some other British people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, might hit a plex near you.
Empire. Is this Empire State of Mind?
It's something.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Oui. Is that Laura Croft?
Maybe. What the fuck was happening?
This guy. I mean, in the future, it could be a contender.
Yeah.
February. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm very, very confused.
What's this? They got lightsabers. I feel like we need to remember this.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Wait, I'm not getting a trailer play.
You're not watching the trailer we're watching?
No, it's not playing. I'm still at the ass end of or I'm still like looking at the end of the Empire's trailer.
That's the one we just watched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did y'all move on to Mother's Instinct?
No, we just watched the Empire.
Oh.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd you get ahead of it?
I don't know, but the car fell and all that shit.
Well, I had an ad, so I had to stop it and rewind it. You may need to leave and come back because you've got off track with me. Like when I play this, it play for everybody?
Yeah.
Does it play for you, Trev?
I've joined and I'm back now. I'm
Okay.
at ad.
So something happened there and you got kicked from the. But yeah, let me copy that down because that was weird. I'll put that on the
All right,
in a minute. All right. Sometimes all right, now I gotta add.
Anne
So
Hathaway, Jessica
That's what
Chastain.
I'm talking about. But when my ad's finished, I'm gonna stop it, back it up. Is it pause for everyone?
Yep.
Yep.
Small company. She looks like Jackie O.
Yeah.
What's that song that's playing? That. Bring me figgy pudding.
What?
Oh. His brother died. So her son is dead, but she still got his or hers.
Yeah.
And there's like a, oh, it's gonna get ugly. You got to keep your son. Oh. don't know how I feel about her with blonde hair. Oh, she's gonna try to kill their kid. You know what I mean? Payback. Yes.
Wrong kid died.
Yeah. And she's gonna like make her whole family mad at her. Her husband's gonna hate her. She might even take her husband. Psychological thriller.
Don't look bad.
It's like, is the movie a thriller? Michael Jackson steps out. Boom, 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 boom. Ad.
Yeah, I gotta add. True Detective.
Same. 5, 4. Oh, I can't wait.
Right.
Some good. Give me some good TV. All right.
Ready.
I'm ready.
I wasn't gonna drop this because I was like, "What's happening here?" But then something happened where I was like, "Oh, fucking Chad and Tyler."
Yeah.
Is this the Dead Zone, but the comedy edition?
Oh, she just said. She just said.
How
You
funny.
ever see the Dead Zone? That's funny, Trav. I mean, he woke up with superpowers. Might be her. I feel like somebody young made this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck's on the back?
I mean, I gotta
No.
add.
Oh wait,
I got
Let's
ads
see.
over. I got another ad.
I do too. Chinese Lantern Festival.
Mine was
Skip.
Train Station 2.
Stop it. Back it up. Make sure I'm on the right trailer. Yep.
Here for Blood. Yeah. D. Snyder,
I mean,
Twisted Sister performing.
I hear the cowbell already.
Oh, Bloody Disgusting.
Phoebe. Oh, the mask was upside down.
Yeah.
The another silly goose time like Kill All the Neighbors.
Yeah. It looks like a silly time, dude.
Silly goose.
The first Omen.
I guess remember the Omen?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're going back. I mean, I
We
think
did
this
it
is
all
connected.
for you, Damien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damien.
Mhm.
Damien.
Oh God. Do we really need a
prequel?
What am I saying? Of course we do.
It's Hollywood, baby. Gotta break the nuns out. Creepy.
I already dig the song choice.
Yeah. Oh, it's got him in it. Okay, all right. She got the smile like that chick from Evil Dead.
Yeah. Everything's in
Be her.
reverse.
Yeah.
This song
the whole
always makes
movie.
me think of one of two things: the intro credits to the show Vikings, or that scene in Breaking Bad when Jesse Pinkman's just zonked the fuck out on like the go karts and shit.
Not a bad trailer.
Mm-mm. Everything in reverse was really cool.
Well, right at the end, that was in reverse. It was almost like, you know how you'll listen to a record or something backwards?
Yeah.
Evil. Picking vibes up.
Yeah. The peasants.
They're probably peasants.
These
Probably
fucking peasants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to your shanties.
Ooh.
Oh, it won everything.
Yeah.
I dropped this because of the way it's shot. Kind of rotoscope animation.
Yeah.
Like every shot looks like a painting.
Yeah.
This is going to be
Watercolors.
amazing.
It's a mushroom movie.
This movie was edited with AI.
Oh. But I like how instead of what was that movie? Robert Downey.
Oh, the Scanner Darkly?
Yeah. This one is more of like, that was animated looking, but this is like a painting. Like, look, this is every shot is a watercolor.
I think this shit's going to win awards.
We might have to remember this one too. The Peasants. Polish Village. It's a hotbed for gossip. I'm talking about.
Over 100 oil painters.
Oh, so they didn't just use AI. They brought people in to animate.
Yeah. I got to add.
Yeah.
It's done.
Maybe not what it was for. Let me make sure. Are we on Willie and me?
Yeah. Willie Nelson? Is this real?
Willie Nelson.
Okay.
Like, even if that movie's bad, like I just looked it up and it's got a 8.1 on IMDb, a 55 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's got a 92 on Google. And it's got to
Man.
be just the way that it's shot. Like that's
Yeah.
Vincent Van Gogh up in here, you know. Cut your
Yeah.
ear off.
Yeah. Get rid of it. Don't
Fuck
need
your
it.
ear off. Fuck your ear on. Great record. I know he just turned like 90 or 91 or something. Like he's
Yeah.
whoa, that looks CGI. What is this?
I don't know.
I like it the Willie Nelson. What is this music? Oh no. She's living out her own Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Do not get in that car. Do not. I like how everybody in Vegas is speaking
Yeah.
like a French accent. What?
I don't know. What?
I mean,
I got an ad, but what the fuck?
like, why is that a movie?
Yeah, right.
And the like 90s
Yeah.
music. It's like, what's happening?
Like a Zatarain's commercial.
Spice it up. Willie Nelson.
And his old pal Trigger.
He's like, maybe I didn't treat you. He starts singing. You know, it's like, shh, All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Bill Burr.
Oh shit.
That's Esther, the chick, like comedian podcast. Yeah. Can't remember her last name, but I saw Bobby Lee in here and was like, yep. Oh. Some big ass pills. That's the mom from a Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh. They're like, bring your mom back, you know?
Yeah.
It's Miss Pat. What's the plot? There's got to be a plot. What is this, a vape store? Oh, okay. We got Delta Nate up in here. Oh, I know a spot. Wait.
I don't know about this one, guys.
Nah, it looks bad. But you can
Think it-
tell it's low budget, and
Yeah.
all these people know each other. This was probably an idea they had on a podcast because she does a podcast with I can't remember their names because I don't listen to it. All right.
I'm good. No ad. No ad for me.
I'm good.
Oh, we got a little remix. What is up with that dashboard?
God, that's like
Died
one
in
of
87.
those.
Oh, that's funny. Send it back. Send it back. Dude looks like a young Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So she's still in body parts for him and sewing them on and making them work? What?
Mm-hmm.
Still, that motherfucker's some vocal cords, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Directed by Robin Williams' daughter,
Oh.
Zelda. Yeah. I gotta
Okay.
add.
Right. Now we oh, here it is. You said it. I was like, there is a monolith. But it's a movie.
Oh, I'm ready.
Where'd Trav go?
Did he leave the call?
Yeah, I mean you can't see it. He's just not in here.
No, I'm.
Oh.
Hold on. I got it full screen.
How
Hold
do you
on.
full screen it?
Okay, I gotta add. In the bottom right hand corner where it's got pop out and full screen.
Oh,
So I
I
got it full
see.
screen.
I gotta add two. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I gotta watch this. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
All right, back that up. All right, we'll watch this.
Oh God, it's a fucking flying monolith.
Yeah, dude. Flonolith.
The worst kind.
Yeah. The chick from Twilight was busy. Wait, is this the
Mhm.
girl from that Men movie?
I think so.
It looks like her, right?
Yeah, it does.
Let's see. The monolith. I think that's her. About to find the fuck out. I like her.
No, she's the chick from Evil Dead. Rise.
Oh, the mom?
No, the sister. The one that made
The
it
one
out.
that was in that was a groupie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's where we know her from. She really she looks like that girl kind of.
Yeah. They got the same kind of
I knew her
mouth.
from something. Yeah. This has like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes, dude.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it's actually a 2023 movie, but it's gonna hit theaters and then VOD. We'll have to watch that.
Yeah. She's the only one that's
Bet.
starring in it. Okay.
I'm gonna add that to the list.
Captain Miller?
And
Is it Miller time?
Well, it's violence time.
I mean, whenever it's Miller time, it's violence time. You know what I'm
Captain
saying?
Miller of violence. All right.
It's kind of short, 2 minutes 54 seconds.
Yeah, that is short.
Yeah, I'm used to
Trust
like
me,
an
I'll look for a
8-minute
longer
epic.
one, but
Nah, it's all good.
I had this was saved from yesterday. I brought it
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
look at these glasses.
Yeah.
They look good.
They do look good. This kind of got the budget of Triple R.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Damn, these Brits are always showing up. It sounds like right here.
Yeah.
I've never seen a trailer where every shot was cut to the music.
Yeah.
There's more.
Mm. Damn.
Weather. Hated that gun on COD. They've done a remix of the Final Countdown.
Yeah.
The Final Countdown. There's more. The trailer will end 3 times. And the crow will caw. And the bell will toll. But wait, there's more. Nah, it's over after that.
We're getting the credits already.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does look good. Captain Miller.
Would watch.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure next week we're going to do I like what you said better. Salt scenario?
Yeah, Salt
Yeah,
Scenario.
I like that. Rolls off tongue, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dream scenario. We're gonna watch Saltburn. True Detective.
Yes.
We might have to drop the
Episode 1.
trailers.
Yeah, or light
Yeah.
on movie news. It'll be all right.
Gonna
I
be
mean,
action backed.
yeah, it's gonna be one to be there for. I know that.
Yeah. I hope we're there. The check's on the mail.
And the flag is raised.